Dude, Luke, the printer's still busted. What the fuck, man?
How's it going, everybody? Welcome to episode 35 of the Topless Robot podcast. My name is Ryan.
My name is Brooks.
I'm Dan.
And we are without a Tyler this week.
Our family just can't keep it together anymore.
Last week we were without a Dan. And this week we were without a Tyler.
We're out of cartridges for our host regenerator.
Well, usually we have fill-in hosts, but people haven't been available, so...
How dare they not bend to our whims?
I know, right? So it has...
It has.
You gonna just laugh there?
Yeah, every time I hear that sentence now.
It's been a week.
It's been 7 days.
A particular popular YouTuber is in some hot water, and that's all you're going to hear us say about that.
Yup.
Significantly more interestingly, the Castlevania collection came out this past week.
Yes.
And I have been thoroughly enjoying it. I swear I thought that I had played Bloodlines before, but apparently I hadn't, because damn, I jumped into that and the control scheme, like the move,
so tight.
Everything about it is like not a Castlevania game as far as movement is concerned.
The only holdover from the old stuff is when you get hit, you still move.
Yeah. Also, it seems you take pretty significant damage when you get hit too.
Oh yeah, they're not fucking around. They're just like, this is our only entry in the Genesis. We have to make it count.
But even like Bloodlines and Castlevania 4 are both like Castlevania easy mode.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, it's not as
I mean, up until you get to the very late point of the game, though. Like Super Castlevania 4 gets pretty crushingly hard in the last couple levels.
Oh, does it?
Yeah.
Once you get into the castle, into the Dracula's castle proper, that's when you have the spinny room and the rotaty platform room and the death room, which is the entire game. But you know,
because I think so far the most challenging thing that I've encountered in Castlevania 4 has been the whip swing. Because like they have the hooks at points, and so you think like, okay, I'm gonna whip onto that and I'll just swing and end my swing. Yeah, except for when that swing ends over a pit. It's like I'm so used to games these days where like if there's a swinging mechanic, you're going to get to the end of your swing, and that's where you're going to jump, and you will be fine, because that is why the thing was placed there. Not in Castlevania 4.
No, and I never really liked that as a mechanic anyway. I felt like it was a little too ambitious for the technology to pull off.
Yep.
They have a bit of that in Bloodlines when you play as John Morris, but I never play as John Morris because I can never remember that guy's name. It's not Alucard.
It's something similar.
Yeah, it's some A name, or it sounds cool, but he's got a trident instead, and he can use that as like if you hold down, he'll like charge up, and then you can like pole vault essentially, which is really handy for some of those screen is moving up kind of stages, like in the second one and second stage, and in the third one, the Leaning Tower Pisa stage. They go all over Europe. It's like a field trip in Bloodlines.
With a lot more depth.
Yeah, Bloodlines, the whip swing felt significantly better to me than in Castlevania 4.
Well, I mean, I think the swinging itself was a little more automatic, if I recall correctly. I don't know.
Stop it.
Also, Kid Dracula is a thing that apparently only came out in Japan and is a Castlevania game.
Yeah, I didn't find out about that until just a few minutes ago.
I didn't know until this week.
Like,
it was
even the music is like a kid-friendly major key, Castlevania soundtrack, and it's adorable. But yeah, apparently that only came out in Japan on the original Famicom.
I mean, that doesn't surprise me. That doesn't strike me as a game the American market would have been thrilled about.
Yes. Oh man, dude. Yeah, we got the new Castlevania game. I got Kid Dracula. Want to go home and watch the Snorks with me?
But honestly, it was actually a pretty rad game. From what I played of it, it's actually very solid.
I'm
It's
gonna
a
have
lot
to.
of fun.
I'm gonna have to fool around with that when I pick up the
It feels
collection.
like a Mega Man title. Like it's it's very jump and shoot, and you get like at the end of the stages, you get upgrades to your shooty. So like, and then you can change what shooty you're using. So like at the end of the first stage, you get a homing shot, and with all of them, you can charge the shot. And when you kill an enemy with a charge shot, you get coins that you can use in the bonus stages in between stages.
just like Mega Man, except I don't think there's any bonus stages in any.
No,
Definitely not in the X games.
not that I can
No,
think
not in
of.
the X games, not in the classic. I know Legends has like a quiz mini game.
Legends doesn't count.
Yeah, but
Legends has a few mini games.
yeah, but there and I love the Legends series, and I will never apologize for it.
The only mini game I like is when you kick the dog.
That's
It's
you
really-
would like that mini game.
It's like a goofy Japanese game show sort of thing, and
Bonk.
there's a man being chased by a dog that are like you're just going left and right, and you kick smaller dogs to try and hit the dog.
Okay.
Yeah, it's very like all of those mini games they're like slapsticky Japanese game show style stuff.
Huh.
But that one itself is really funny because it makes funny dog noises when you kick the dog.
And in 2, if you kick the dog and people, then your armor goes dark.
I think that happens in the first one too, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, your armor goes dark and everything costs more in shops. People won't talk to you.
Yeah, you can be a dick.
But you can do things. You can pay like 1,000,000 zenny to get like blessed by a priest, and then you're like the light version. You're the opposite, and so everything's cheaper, and everyone like is on your dick even more.
Man, Mega Man Legends, what the fuck were you trying to do?
It's the Sonic Adventure of the Mega Man franchise.
But better.
Which is probably why I've
Nar!
only played like 5 minutes of the first Mega Man Legends, and that was it. I was like, this isn't Mega Man.
I started with the second one, which was a mistake. Well, it's because I like the franchise. I started with the second one because that's just who I found it at a GameStop. I was like, oh, I've always wanted to play this, and this 2 has way better controls than the first one. First one is, unfortunately, you can beat most bosses by running around in circles and shooting. I figured that out pretty quick. I was like, oh, I can just hold down the
Target?
not the target, but like the run button, and like I can
you
just
can
like
strafe.
loop it, and
Yeah.
you're just strafing in a circle, and that's how most bosses die without. Yeah, it's great.
I mean, yeah, I think it's a good series too, but
It's goofy.
yeah,
It's really goofy.
I also understand completely.
Maybe I should
like,
revisit
that
it,
it's
but like I remember when it came out, and I was like,
Wait till 3 comes out.
not gonna happen. I don't know. I'm kind of in the department too of like it kind of really doesn't remind me of Mega Man in any way, other than
No.
the fact that you are the Blue Bomber and people
Yeah.
call you Mega Man.
Yeah.
That's it.
will call
And
you
in all
Mega
other
Man.
ways, it's just a JRPG where you shoot stuff. That's
Sure.
it.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
making Mega Man a JRPG isn't, well, not necessarily a bad idea.
Well, Mega Man Legends did it better than
Battle Network?
no. Oh, yes.
and Star Force
And what was the
Star Force
Command
Mission.
Mission.
I've not actually played it because it looked like trash, and like X looked weird. He looked like a Street Fighter character, but from a bad Street Fighter game.
Yeah, it's the same problem that there always is.
He had Knuckles. He had Knuckles because I bought the action figure. And he had these and a flame cape. X had a flame cape.
You're not necessarily saying anything to dissuade me. These all,
Axel's
like,
in
on the
it.
face of it, sound kind of badass.
Axel's in it.
Yeah, until you get down to the gameplay though, where it's just generic Final Fantasy-esque JRPG combat, but not good, and also
It's like bland grinding.
So, like,
moment you-
turn-based?
Yeah. And the moment you get the one healing character who, go figure, is a girl who wears pink armor with a sunny disposition.
And who's a nurse?
Yeah, you have to keep her in your party the whole time because you can never get through with healing items because then that you just have to have one character dedicated to using healing items anyway. So like one part of your party is just dedicated to this awful character. Also, yes, Axel's in it, so Brooks made a good point. That makes anything infinitely worse.
I think he had the same voice actor as Ash Ketchum in the first game,
Probably.
or in X7. I'm pretty sure that was.
I think
what's-her-face.
she's going to be a guest at Game On this year.
Will you autograph my Axel action figure? I had one. Yes, I did. I had to get them all. It came with the ride armor. I mean, the motorcycle, not the ride armor. Anyways, sorry.
I have been out of the loop because I have had some severe tooth trauma this week. Is there anything that happened in the news that was like newsworthy?
Well, aliens invaded.
Oh shit.
Well,
I thought that was just my painkillers kicking in.
Yeah, the two of us have just been replaced by symbiotes.
we are all now left-handed. That's like the only difference.
That's their scheme, is to
Yes.
turn everyone sinister.
Yeah, sinister. As far as news goes, there's been a lot of fuckery down south. As far as some nasty bills and and
I feel like we can save that for the rants at the end.
Yeah, well,
that's something.
Boy, it sure is.
There was a Nintendo Direct this week for Mario Maker 2.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Where they announced that you will now be able to make levels in the Mario 3D Land style.
Oh, okay.
Like from what I could tell, it's still like 2.5D. Like there's still, left to right.
Yeah, it's just
the cat suits and all the power-ups from Mario 3D Land and stuff like that. So
that's fine though, because that game was gorgeous looking. So I would rather have that over, the new Super Mario Brothers U or whatever it was that they had in the first one, which I'm sure will still be there. But that game,
it's still there.
That game just didn't look good.
Well, I'd love for them to add Mario Brothers 2, even though it isn't Mario Brothers 2 proper. Like it would still be fun to make. Levels that have
like radishes and shit.
Yeah,
I think that'd be really fun.
Flying carpets and Shy Guys and logs.
The little ninja star dudes.
Yeah. And the rats.
Yeah.
The rats.
And fucking what's the Birdo?
Yeah, Birdo. That pink thing. The eggs.
That shoots eggs at you.
Yes.
That you have to jump on and pick up and then throw.
That apparently in the manual.
Stop yawning! I'm the one who's hungover.
Yesterday was our baby boy Dan's birthday.
Yeah.
He turned 22.
I turned old enough to lose my health insurance.
We'll have to edit that in if that changes. Yeah, I'm not going to complete that thought because I was just kind of...
You were going to say something about Birdo being a man.
Oh, yes, I was. Sorry. There you go. I had that Tron action figure. That Tron action figure I bought on the way here on my brain. Yes, Birdo is a man.
Yes.
Interesting.
I thought that was common knowledge by now.
Yeah, no, it was. I've known that since I was a kid. Because I think Brent told me, or someone that was like, "Oh, it was one of those like, oh, did you know?" And it's like, "No, you're fucking with me, dude." But it's like, nope, there it is, and it's like, oh.
I would like to see, because like in Mario 2, they had the super jump. Mm-hmm. So like having a super jump, that kind of charge jump available in Mario Maker would be pretty cool too.
But I think those are the big reasons why we won't see the Super Mario 2.
Because
of all the different mechanics they would have to add in for just that one thing.
Yeah.
And you'd have to have access to all 4 characters that aren't going to be in any of the other things. So I don't know. I think that would entail a lot of extra work that they don't want
Panic.
to do. Haven't heard that a billion times. Thanks, asshole.
Not to be confused with the other thing that I won't say ever again.
Doki Doki Literature Club.
The shot caller. Oh, if you play that game, Doug.
It would still be pretty cool, though. I think it would be nice to have those kind
love the way that Luigi just like, boo, in the air, that's my favorite. That's why I always play as Luigi, because it's, why would you not,
Yeah. I agree.
And I think the only game that has kind of carried that over was Smash.
Yes.
No, doesn't he...
Oh, wait.
I guess he might be. He's a little floaty in the Wii U.
Yeah, in 3D World as well, like all of the characters, like Toad is fastest, but he jumps the lowest. Peach has her hover.
But I mean, like, it was a thing that was introduced in 2, and then in 3, no, just thrown right out. And then in World, no.
Yeah, because you're not really playing as all 4 characters anymore. The only time.
But you're always playing as Luigi.
I think they might have actually changed those with or inserted that in the GBA ports of like the Mario Advance series. I think.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
I think they may have.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta remember, we were still also at a point like where Luigi was just green Mario. Like that's it.
Yeah.
He didn't become his own character for a while.
Well, he kind of did in World, because in World it was more established that he was the taller brother.
Yeah, but he still played just the same.
Yeah. But I mean, up to that point, there wasn't even a height difference. It was just a color palette swap.
Yep.
Yeah. It's not easy being green, guys.
Really isn't.
It's not easy being green.
I've been watching this Defunct Land on YouTube has been doing a History of the Muppets series.
Oh, really?
So they dropped their big third video this week on the history of the Muppet Show proper. It's like everything, there's 2 videos prior to that, and it's all Jim Henson stuff, and it's like, oh, I had no idea that this is how we got to this point.
Sure.
There was a show called Muppets Sex and Violence that preceded the actual Muppet Show, because he was trying to get away from being a kid's puppeteer, being perceived as a child's puppeteer for Sesame Street, and it was kind of bad.
I was gonna say, there's no way to spell, could you be any more blatant?
Yeah.
Muppets, sex and violence. That's basically
Yeah, that's what he was going for.
It's a bit too ham-fisted.
Yeah.
I also didn't know that he did work on SNL when that first came out.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah, with this puppet segment that everyone hated. They didn't want to be there. Everyone on the cast hated it. The writers hated it because I don't want to. I think someone was quoted saying, "It's I don't work with felt." And then
I don't work with felt.
John Belushi coined the term mupping fuppets or something like that.
Very clever. Very just top notch.
Yeah. I would never have gotten there on my own.
He probably woke up on a couch and thought of that at some random person's house. So.
These mucking puppets.
Where's my liquor?
Oh, man.
What else? We have the Good Omens series to look forward to next week.
Yep.
I think next week.
I'm pretty sure
it's
you're
the 30th, right?
I've seen a bunch of commercials for. I've seen the commercials.
That's coming up real soon, so I'm super stoked for that.
It's an Amazon thing too, right?
Yeah.
That means I can watch it.
Yeah, I am very, very much looking forward to that. That'll be a really good series.
Yeah, my mom expressed some interest in it yesterday because I made her watch What We Do in the Shadows, the TV show, and she wasn't a fan of it, but I didn't think she would be. But it's revenge for the Big Bang.
How can you not be a fan of What We Do in the Shadows?
She just doesn't like that style of that documentary style thing. She didn't like The Office.
God, it's so good.
My dad likes Parks and Rec a lot. And
I don't even think of it as the same style as The Office.
Right.
I guess technically it is because it's the whole faux documentary thing.
Well,
but I mean, if you really want to go back, the faux documentary thing is like a Spinal Tap thing.
Yeah.
And so it's not necessarily The Office. The Office specifically is the faux documentary plus discomfort.
Yeah.
And I guess even the Spinal Tap and Best in Show, there's a little amount of cringe,
I love
discomfort.
Best in Show so much.
But
Christopher Guest.
The Office really leaned on the discomfort, kind of part of that formula. Mm-hmm. And I don't think What We Do in the Shadows leans too hard on the discomfort, cringe, part of that formula.
Not at all. And also, I showed them the pilot, the first episode, and because I've been following the show, it's one of the few things that I follow as it comes out. Just I love it so much. the first episode is more like, oh, there's a documentary crew referencing that. But, you know, they may bring it up again in a couple episodes just when one of the vampire characters, not the main characters, but someone eats one of the cameramen, you know, and it's like, oh, shit, you know, shit. And they just like taking off. But I think they was using it more of a like, this is not normal, panic, you know, kind of thing. My brain am good today. But we're talking about Good Omens, and that's I know Neil Gaiman, but was that a collaboration with Terry Pratchett? Yes. Okay, cool. Because I was telling my mom about it, and she's a big Terry Pratchett fan. I'm like, this is how I get you to read something cool, mother.
Yeah, I am looking forward to it. It looks like it's going to be really good. I love David Tennant, and in general, it looks like it's great. I got a great cast, and it should be really entertaining. I still haven't finished the audiobook, but
Philistine.
I've only read one Neil Gaiman book, and I know I should read more, but I'm busy with other books.
Sandman.
I'm seeing other authors right now. No, I read American Gods.
Oh, okay.
I read American Gods on a friend's recommendation. That was wonderful. I want my ashes to be scattered at the House on the Rock.
House on the Rock, yeah. So, House on the Rock is awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, the first year Jasmine and I were dating. I went back home and, you know, took her with me to Wisconsin. And we just had a day where we didn't have anything planned. And I was like, hey, you want to go to the House on the Rock? And she's a huge American Gods fan. And it was like, what, really? I'm like, yeah, it's like 45 minutes away. Let's just go. And so we went to House on the Rock.
Yeah, that place is rad. I've heard a lot about it.
It's really cool.
I'm sorry to tell you, Brooks, the best we can do is scatter your ashes on a rock. I don't think we'll be able to afford to scatter them at the House on the Rock.
Well, yeah, we can scatter your ashes on a rock on a house.
Just find the nearest Applebee's with the, you know, the shit on the walls or something. Just kind of throw it.
Just take the whole urn and just dump it on the wall.
No. You have to get marine epoxy and just adhere me to the wall. And I didn't say cremated on that one. Oh, that's great. That's cool. It's a weekend at Bernie's. Oh man.
I'm trying to think what else has come out
this week.
I've been too drugged up and too seething red about stuff. Yeah. Things
it's been an angry
that have
week.
To do with Alabama and Missouri and Ohio and Georgia.
Is it not always an angry week?
Oh, Comcast states, yeah.
I don't know. I didn't keep up on much of anything else. I picked up Soul Calibur 6.
Oh, yeah.
I was missing out on that. I hadn't really been able to play a Soul Calibur game since Soul Calibur 3. Then I owned a PlayStation 3. I don't think it was on anything else. I think maybe 5 was on PC or something. I don't remember. But I haven't played one since 3, and I'm surprised to find that it's almost exactly the same game still.
Yeah, who are the bonus characters?
I think 3 or 4 is the last one that I played.
Okay. The bonus character that I've seen so far is Geralt from The Witcher.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah.
The last one that I played had either Yoda if you got it on Xbox or Darth Vader if you got it on PlayStation.
I think that was 4. I think
so. I think that was 4. I played the most recent one that I played. I think it was probably 5 because it had Ezio from Assassin's Creed 2.
Okay. I was told I didn't miss much by people who've been in on the series, that 4 and 5 were actually pretty bad.
I never actually played any of the... I've only played against people, like, at the house, you know? Zeke and I just, you know, get messed up and play fighting games. So, like, I couldn't tell you if it was any good or not, because I'm not great at fighting games in the first place.
Yeah, I'm not great at fighting games either.
But that makes Soul Calibur the perfect game, because it's actually one of the most shallow fighting games out there.
Yeah,
it's very beginner friendly and it's a lot of fun. I love it. I mean, it's a fighting game that doesn't have a huge focus on aerial combat, which even though I do love like Guilty Gear, that's all.
No juggling.
Air combos are just things that I don't enjoy very much. I like reading opponents and faking them out, not locking them into very long combos.
I like
what's
characters with
interesting.
cool costumes and sound effects.
Is a couple of OG Guilty Gear games came out on Switch this week.
Ooh.
They're
Like
good.
the first Guilty Gear game came out on Switch.
The
I remember when the
soundtrack
first
is
Guilty
so
Gear game
good.
came out, and I really enjoyed it. And then another one came out that I can't remember the name of off the top of my head.
Blaze Blue, maybe?
No. It was a Guilty Gear.
Oh, the all
title.
Guilty Gear. Okay.
Like an older Guilty Gear title, but I can't remember it off the top of my head.
The soundtrack is like an angry DDR.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it has like that. It's got the rock and roll vibe.
That Eurobeat thing going.
It's got the jokes too.
Heaven or Hell, let's rock. Oh wait,
Deja
no, that's
vu.
Blaze Blue, isn't it? Or no?
It's in Guilty Gear. Yeah.
What's like the worst?
Guilty Gear
In Blaze Blue, it's Rebel
Guilty-
1.
Oh yeah, Rebel 1.
Rebel 1.
Guilty Gear XX Accent Core Plus R.
Yeah, they have stupid names.
DX.
They have anime names.
Yes.
The other thing that
Imagine if Mega Man X titles had anime subtitles.
oh god,
Mega Man X: Dawn of Sigma, Sorrow
I mean,
3,
they basically
Deus Ex
do.
Machina.
Mega Man. I mean, like the Battle Network stuff. There's like Mega Man EX.
Battle Network doesn't count. But if Mega Man games did have those titles, you and I would be winded all the time, Brooks.
Oh my god! Remember that time in Mega Man X: Dawn of Sigma, Sorrow, Justice, Deus Ex Machina, DX.
The other thing I wanted to give Soul Calibur credit for is it's one of the few fighting games that actually historically makes something separate from the campaign, but like a single player mode that's fun.
Yeah.
And Soul Calibur 2 still to this day has my favorite fighting game like extra campaign that's ever come out.
Isn't that like
Is that mission where
there's
you
the
beat up
map
children?
thing, and then
It's the huge map.
They put certain conditions on the some of the battles and
And
stuff, and
all-
sometimes you're fighting more than one opponent. And
A bunch of challenges and unlockable weapons that you could get
Yeah.
along the way. Everyone had their own version of like Soul Edge
Yeah.
or Soul Calibur.
I always really liked that.
It was rad. I mean, the
Is
one,
that still present in 6?
no,
or?
but the one in 6 is it's an extra story where you play as your custom character that you make.
Oh, that 6 is.
Yeah, and the character creator, and that's hilarious. I like that they just embraced how like campy and goofy it is.
Sure.
So that it's okay. It's not as good as the second one, but it's still something that's nice to have. Unlike in Guilty Gear, where your story mode is literally just a visual novel. You literally just watch a visual novel. That's your story. It's not even a game.
All right.
Wow.
So Soul Calibur gets a big win on that one.
Oh man, what's the worst fighting game?
Ooh.
Like critically, well, what is perceived to be the worst fighting game? Like
So
Shaq
like,
Fu.
yeah. What was didn't Wu-Tang have a fighting game?
Shaq Fu was worse,
that
dude.
stupid controller, right? Didn't it come with a really weird PlayStation controller?
I don't remember.
It was the logo. I'm pretty.
Oh God.
I would not be surprised. Now I have to
wouldn't
know.
be surprised either.
I don't know. I think like
My friend got a Wu-Tang tattoo gun.
are we just counting like real fighting series as which ones are the worst? Because I would still definitively say that like Shaq Fu is probably the worst fighting
Let's go
game.
with series because Shaq Fu is bad.
And I mean, Shaq Fu did come back as a beat 'em up.
Yeah, but that wasn't great either.
No,
it was
wasn't.
better than the original game at least, but it's also nothing
forgot
like the
about that,
original.
actually.
Yeah, and that just happened like last year.
I remember he was in the
Wu-
news for a second.
Wu-Tang Shaolin Style was that game that you're talking
Yeah.
about, by the way, which probably wasn't terrible, but I never played it.
There was that one fighting game that didn't come out, but got leaked, and it was going to be a PlayStation Thrill Kill.
I found the Wu-Tang controller.
Did you?
You want to see it?
Oh, you're gonna have to put this on screen for people.
God damn it! Okay.
So great.
Oh wow! Oh wow!
So,
you know
you
what?
look
It
at
looks looks more comfortable to hold than an original Xbox controller.
Yeah.
I'll give it that.
for those of you just on audio, it is a black Wu-Tang W that has bright yellow buttons on it. It is far from ergonomic.
And
Yeah.
the
That's
trigger
for
buttons
sure.
are on the top of the ends of the letter.
Yeah.
You can get one for $450 used on eBay.
Oh Lord.
That disgusts me.
Yeah. But there was that game Thrill Kill back when fighting games were only just 2-player games. Thrill Kill aimed to make a 4-player fighter, and it was going to be a PlayStation game, and they deemed it too brutal to release, and so they never released it. But it got leaked, and if you had like a modded PlayStation, you could download it and burn it and play it on PlayStation.
Remind me of this later, so I may work my dark magic on the internet and play this game.
It's not a great game, but basically you were playing a bunch of insane asylum monster characters.
Oh, okay,
and,
okay.
It was bloody, and
it's a prequel to Mother Can I Go Out and Kill Tonight?
Sure. My guess would be that the shock value of that game had more effort put into it than the actual fighting mechanics.
Probably.
That's my prediction.
Yeah.
I do love those, and I don't mean they're great games, but like we're gonna look at the most offensive game in history, but like really bad stuff like that.
See, at least Mortal Kombat did that and also made a good fighting game.
Correct.
Yeah.
That I don't like, but it's still like objectively a very good fighting game.
I don't even know that Mortal Kombat, people correct me if I'm wrong, of course, but I've never seen any documentaries about the creation of the original Mortal Kombat or anything like that. But I don't think that they were aiming to make something that was like going to be pushing any buttons.
No.
Really, like specifically, they were just trying to come up with new ideas in a genre that was still relatively young.
Yeah, but
because you had Fighting Street, and then the first Street Fighter game, and then Street Fighter 2 was I think the first time I remember any fighting game being of note.
I understand maybe they weren't actively doing it to push buttons, but I mean, come on, you have to understand that you know what you're doing when you rip someone's head out along with their entire spine in the game.
It's called art, Dan.
It's called art.
Fucking Philistines.
I mean,
Now let's all run out in the street and shout Mortal Kombat at each other, just like in that trailer.
Oh, God.
Mortal Kombat! Big guys in business. Mortal Kombat! Johnny Cage. Sub-Zero.
Liu Kang.
Crow. Oh boy, why were we talking about fighting games again?
Because Soul Calibur 6 and Guilty Gear.
Yeah. Okay.
I've been meaning to give Soul Calibur 6 a shot, but
if you get it on PC, I'll kick your ass.
Yeah,
I'd love to. It'd be great.
Okay.
Well, I gotta use mouse.
I mean, I'd probably get it on PC. I picked up, Humble Bundle is having their spring sale.
Humble Bundle?
Which is basically their... Head to toplessrobot.com/humble. Basically, like, they have publisher sales, so you can go into each publisher and you see all their games that they have on, like, major discounts. So I got Ni no Kuni 2 for, like, $20.
What a weird concept for a game.
It really...
The President of the United States turns into a child.
Is that what what Ni no Kuni 2 is?
I'm pretty sure you play as the President of the United States who gets turned into this like protagonist for the game.
Okay, that's fucking funny.
Yeah.
Is that the same one as where you're flying a mech and the Never mind. We'll get back to that after this.
You're not batting 1,000 today, my friend.
Can you hand me my phone?
But I mean, Ni no Kuni is Miyazaki. It's Studio Ghibli in a video game, which is I enjoyed the first one, so I kind of waited on the second one, and I'm kind of glad that I did, because that was a super good price for like $20 for the Prince Edition, which is all of the DLC, season pass,
but it's purple.
Like that, so
yeah, I'm trying to double check, but I'm pretty sure I have to make sure. I don't think all of my friends committed to this elaborate shitpost just to make a fool out of me.
Okay, I wasn't smoking crack. There's a game that my friend was telling me about called Metal Wolf Chaos.
Okay.
I shall read an excerpt from the Wikipedia. Plot. By the end of the first quarter of the 21st century, the United States has plunged into a state of civil and economic unrest. Looking at you, Alabama. The military launches a coup d'etat led by Vice President Richard Hawke and succeeds in gaining control of the nation's government institutions.
Hold on. Dick Cock?
I was just going to let it go.
During this time, Michael Wilson, a fictional relative of Woodrow Wilson, is serving as the 47th president of the United States.
Wait, Michael Winslow?
Wilson realizes he is the country's last hope for freedom, and he dons a special mech developed in secret by the military to fight Hawk and the rebel forces.
Wait, is this Metal Wolf Chaos that we're talking about?
Yes.
That game's fucking sick.
Is it?
It's so sick.
I am the president of the United States of America.
It is. I was so frustrated because I learned about this game way after its release because we didn't get it.
Yeah.
I think we're going to finally.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it's an action movie. It's what, like, if you told some foreign person, like, what do you think about America? They're just like, fucking freedom and mechs and explosions, like, and
eagles and
heavy monologuing, like that. Yeah. It's that game in a nutshell.
Big guns.
Yeah, that's the whole thing.
Bath and Beyond.
I couldn't remember what that was for the longest time, and that's
what I was trying to remember.
Metal Wolf Chaos is so good.
We should look after when we're done. We should look more into that. You got to see this game, dude. It's crazy.
So this is what I'm talking about with Ni no Kuni 2. So it says, inside we see a much older Roland who appears to be the president of the United States, though his country is identified as the off-brand Union. Suddenly, a nuclear missile roars overhead toward a skyline that's evocative of New York. It's clearly meant to be a mashup of different cities. Blah, 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 blah. Mushroom clouds. Yeah, it opens with a nuclear holocaust.
Well then,
sounds
interesting.
Like a
very
film.
Interesting.
Are they trying to do Grave of the Fireflies again, or?
The first, I don't remember the first one being like that. That's
I mean, I'm sure they try and rationalize what happens after that. I only know that out of context, like first cutscene. That's literally all I know about Ni no Kuni 2. So there might be like some sort of rationale behind what they're doing.
Okay,
but I think regardless, in or out of context, that scene is just hilarious.
Yeah. Well. It really depends. If you can laugh at how real that is.
Well,
it's very realistic, 100%.
Same thing, like...
Just like how Rob Liefeld's character models are all really, really realistic.
I will always go back to Stan Lee just belittling Rob Liefeld and Todd McFarlane. So how does he go to the bathroom? Whatever it is. Does he sleep in this? He must sleep in this.
Everything's just jacked. Oh my God.
What's his alter ego? He's just this all the time.
That would be exhausting.
Yeah.
That would be. All right, so weird comic joke, check. Nuclear holocaust, check. What are we going into now? Check. Oh man.
Yeah. I took a break from Swords of Ditto. So I did beat it a second time. So there have now been 200 years of peace in Ditto. And on the last one I had, the curse that was placed was I had 5 days to beat Mormo. On the next run after I beat it that time is what they called Ether Storm, which puts the world in the same state it would be as if there had been 500 years of Mormo's rule. So everything is super difficult.
Okay.
And I'm like, I'm gonna let that rest for a little bit. It just got really, really very difficult. So
I'm into it.
But yeah, apparently every time you face Mormo, every 100 years, it's a new curse. It's completely different. So
interesting.
Yeah.
This next curse will be that your children don't appreciate the things you've done for them. Which is -5 to health.
So, but yeah, it's still a very interesting game, but it does get a little repetitive after a while in that, like, every playthrough you're doing the same thing.
Yeah, but that's the nature of it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even games that are built to have replayability, that only goes so far.
Mm-hmm.
I'm definitely more for creating a core experience that rocks, and that's what makes me want to replay it. Yeah. Not just a game that loops on itself. Although that still works. That game seems like it's pretty good. Mm-hmm. I don't know. It's just...
And apparently it wasn't. Like, I bought it when it first came out and played it for a little bit, and I was like, this is cute and fun, but I ended up doing what I do with most games, that I, just buy, I'd play it for 5 minutes, go, okay, I get the idea, and then I set it down and revisit it maybe somewhere a year down the line. In that case, apparently it was a good thing that I did it with this game, because the historical reviews for Swords of Ditto on Steam is mixed, and the recent reviews is positive. And it's because they changed they released this DLC that coincided with the Switch release called Mormo's Curse. And that apparently fixed all of the problems that they had that people were complaining about for like the first year of the game's release.
Okay.
So it was one of those games that redeemed itself.
I like a good redemption arc for a shitty game. Like, that's how it was for that game Slain Back from Hell.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. I was so stoked when that was in development. When it dropped, it sucked. Thank God they fixed it.
Yeah.
Because it had so much potential, and they at least realized it instead of just leaving it to burn in hell.
Mm-hmm.
Stop! Stop yelling!
I can't! Stop! Sorry, guys.
Aside from that, I preloaded Resident Evil 4 because that comes out on Switch on Tuesday. And that's a great Resident Evil game. So I'm pretty stoked for that. And have been mostly sleeping because
sleep is good.
Tooth pain, really bad.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah, tooth pain sucks a lot.
It's pretty lame. I remember I got my wisdom teeth pulled when I was like 16. And okay, so first of all, my dad is the kind of guy that he's the prophet of doom sometimes. And I that's where I get my thing like that from. But so I'm going in to get my wisdom teeth pulled.
The thing like that, you get your doom prophecies. You inherited
I inherited
doom
my father's doom
dad?
prophecies.
Yeah,
I'm always just like,
okay.
The tower will fall, or the throne will flow with blood, or this game might suck. So I had to get put under because I had to see an oral surgeon for this. It was a mess. And 10 minutes, I'm sitting in the chair waiting to go. My dad's like, some people don't wake up. You better make peace. You better make peace of the Lord before you go under. And I'm just like, So the mask on, and I'm counting backwards, and I'm just like, oh my god, back the fuck out. I don't wake up until I'm in the van on the way home, and I was just like bewildered and angry, and I just for a whole day I was just bewildered and angry, just sitting there. I'm watching Teen Titans, and I'm just mad at something. What is going on? With a mouthful of gauze, and I'm drooling on myself, and I'm just seething with rage. Teenage angst stuff.
I get it. Yeah, my experience having my wisdom teeth removed was pretty fucked up because I started waking up during the operation. But I was still I was so out of it that I still couldn't, I heard the crunching. And then I felt my head being pulled on, and I hear the surgeon go, I think he's waking up. We need to get him back under.
Oh.
And I asked, and they were like, yeah, you didn't hallucinate that. You started to wake up in the middle of the procedure because we were keeping you too close to the edge. And I was just like, oh, that was great. So
woke up with a boot on your chest.
Well, I know that was the thing. Apparently it was a pain in the ass. I mean, all four of mine were already impacted perfectly perpendicular to the rest of my teeth. Mm-hmm. And when I went back for the follow-up, the surgeon just looks at me because the whole right side of my face was bruised yellow. So he beat the fuck out of me. And I walked in and sat down, and he just laughed. He's like, I really beat you up. I was like, you better watch your words, dog. I haven't been arrested for violent crime yet, but I thought about it. God damn it.
So I went in for my normal cleaning on Thursday, and I had a filling that came out in this molar. And it came out a while ago.
More
and so
than a
I'd
feeling. Sorry.
That one was actually funny. I'm sorry, Ryan. I couldn't have your bag.
So I'd go back for cleanings, and they're like, okay, we'll do an X-ray and see kind of how close to the nerve this is getting because this tooth is wearing down. And okay, no, it looks fine. We might have to worry about it in the future, but it looks fine for now. And so on last Thursday, I went in for my normal cleaning, and I came home. And I had started getting like kind of a dull throbbing, pain on the right side of my mouth, but it was manageable. Like it wasn't so bad. I had been putting temporary fillings in the broken tooth, and apparently I've got a cavity coming in up here. But the pain from the broken tooth would like trigger the cavity in the top tooth, and they just create this feedback,
the fucking domino effect of tooth pain.
God, that's the worst.
It didn't really hit until after the cleaning, so didn't sleep Friday night, didn't sleep Saturday night, didn't sleep Sunday night. Worked from home on Monday because I had not slept at all and was really out of it, and called my dentist, and I was like, look, this is a problem, and I'm still paying for my bridge and stuff like that. So when I went in for that cleaning, he said, hey, if the pain gets to be too much, let me know, and like there's enough of that tooth where we can save it. Like we can do a root canal and put a crown on it and everything like that. But if there's too much pain, just let me know and we'll pull it. And I'm like, well, I'd really kind of rather save it. And in my head, I'm thinking it's because I still owe money on my bridge that he's saying, we're not going to do a root canal on this as a method of saving it. So I called in and I was like, look, I can't live with this pain. Ever since the cleaning, it has been it became intense pain that I could feel in my ear canal and in my jaw and down my neck. And it was nonstop. And it would get worse at night. And so on Monday, they prescribed me hydrocodone and antibiotics. And the hydrocodone wasn't strong enough to kill the pain. So they scheduled me to the next opening that they had in was that Thursday. And they said, look, if anything opens up tomorrow, we'll get you in tomorrow. And I'm like, all right, that's awesome. Something opened up the next day. I went in the next day. They did the root canal on the tooth. They agreed to do that. And I was like, all right, cool. But so I get in there and he numbs up the area. And for the first time in 4 days, I had no pain, and I fell asleep and slept through the entire procedure.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
9 out of 10 dentists recommend you listen to the Topless Robot podcast.
The other ones, we can't actually hear them because they're busy running drills right now. Oh, man.
Played in dentist offices across the country.
That would actually be a really sweet like promotional deal where you find like a national chain of like dentistry office and you're like,
play our podcast.
Play our podcast. We'll give you top billing.
But yeah, that's how sleep deprived I was. Like the second that they numbed me and that pain was gone, I was out. I was, and I'd wake up every once in a while and he'd be, drilling away. I didn't even realize it was a 2-hour procedure.
Hey, that's better than being awake for it. Fuck that.
Right? No shit.
Tyler would tell us his dentist story, but I think he didn't make it. That's just why he's not here anymore.
Yeah.
He died of an infection because he didn't brush his teeth enough,
Rest
guys.
in peace,
Rest
Tyler.
in peace. The moral of this podcast is take care of your teeth, kiddos. Otherwise, you'll end up like Tyler.
Don't be Tyler.
Or you'll end up like Jay and have fake Inspector Gadget teeth.
What?
I'm sorry, Stevo, not Jay. Also, actually, Jason Mewes. Yeah, they both... Never, you remember that Inspector Gadget movie that came out in the 90s?
Yeah, with Matthew Broderick.
Yeah, so when they had the doppelganger version of him, he had like really fake, like perfect teeth.
Veneers.
Yeah, veneers. And so I have always, anytime I see like Jason Mewes or Steve-O, I'm just like, look, it's the fake one. It's the bad one. It's the bad one. Get him.
Because they got veneers.
Yeah, because they got veneers. Yeah, you know what? Maybe I should.
Oh man. That's one of my favorite things to do is whenever you make a joke that you're not confident in, I just have to stare at you the whole time.
Well, I know I can always make Tyler laugh. So when I don't have his laughter, my confidence.
Your crutch isn't here.
My crutch isn't here. He's having fun at Disneyland.
Yeah, he's at Disneyland.
He's doing it.
Another chalk on the mark here for Tyler being the most wholesome guy around.
Yeah.
He's going to Disneyland.
Everyone knows that cool, edgy kids go to Knott's Berry Farm.
In honor of Tyler not being here, so the Game of Thrones series finale is airing tonight. And that's all that we're going to say about that.
Let's talk about Hamilton for a while, too.
Quick, end the podcast.
We have actually come to the end of the podcast. It is time for rants.
Ooh, buddy.
I just want to say, I know we want to rant about it, but do we want to rant about it?
Honestly, we could just say a couple of things about it. And
when it means that women who miscarry in the state of Alabama are going to be investigated for criminal activity, that's a fucking problem.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's evil and fucked up, and you should feel bad if you think that's a good idea.
And bodily autonomy is a thing. And if you think that thing the size of a bean has bodily autonomy, you're wrong. You are absolutely scientifically wrong. And people are. I got into an argument on Facebook about fundamental disagreements on certain things. When I say I hate organized religion, doesn't mean that I hate religious people. And this person was saying, by saying you hate Christianity, what you're actually saying, and you're too cowardly to say, is you hate Christians. No, you're wrong. I would have to hate most of my family and a lot of my friends if that were true. People can sort through the bullshit and use religion as a moral compass or whatever the fuck fulfillment and community driving that they have. It doesn't make them terrible. Organized religion itself, however, Christianity as a whole, is garbage. It shielded, or I guess that's Catholicism. It shielded fucking priests while they were, fucking little boys. As an organization, these organized crime institutions, as they rise in size, only get more and more corrupt. Like most things, when they get to a certain critical mass, they become corrupt. So yes, when I say I hate Christianity and I hate organized religion, I mean literally those words. Don't try to read between those fucking words. I know exactly what the fuck I'm saying. I do not hate Christians. I do not hate Catholics. I do not hate Jews. I do not hate any single person who identifies with any of these things.
Except Scientologists.
Yeah, that's a weirdie. Went for sure. Yeah.
Not the dog.
Well, I mean, as a reformed Christian, I know a lot of really good people that subscribe. Hey, buddy. Yeah, I know, right? You think Shaq Fu was good too, huh?
Dog brains cannot comprehend the tragedy that was Shaq Fu.
Yeah, but I know a lot of there's a lot of people that I grew up with or grew up around, and I have great respect for, and they happen to be Christians. But I'm with you on that camp where I don't like where it's gone, and I don't like how it's influenced what's been going on. For example, you have all these.
Well, it's used as an excuse for a lot of things.
Yeah, it's like, well, I don't think this is right, and you're encroaching on my religious liberty by doing this thing. And it's like, well, no, it's like, if you have all these people that are freaking out, oh, Sharia law, but they're the ones that are imposing that same kind of principle.
Yeah.
On folks that go. Was that a squeaky toy or was that him?
That was him.
He was pissed off that I was throwing him.
Oh yeah!
Yeah. I don't. I don't know. It's people do a lot of things in the name of their religion and think that they're, and then act the victim when they're the most prevalent religion, in the country, which is fucking ludicrous.
Trying to take away our freedom, and it's like, no. If we did that, we'd just start making you guys pay taxes.
Yeah, but specifically, religion influencing decisions that are devoid of thought and fact, like Alabama's heartbeat law. Ohio is passing a heartbeat law.
That's just some backwards stuff, man. Like
Georgia passed a heartbeat law, and Missouri is voting on a heartbeat law.
Missouri is trying to go for the most pro-life, and this is I think a quote from their someone in charge is like, "Let's make Missouri the most pro-life state in the union." I'm like, well, you gotta be pro-life or you can't be. It's like, how can you make it extra pro-life? It's like, well, anyone who has thought about killing someone is going to jail.
No, you know how you make it
about abortions, we'll shoot you into the sun.
You know how you make it extra pro-life? You make it mandatory that you start procreating at the youngest age possible, which sounds like a Missouri thing.
Definitely does. Well, at least in Branson.
So it should go without saying. I know, considering our listeners, that we are probably preaching to the choir, but don't let old white religious men make laws that govern women's bodies. That's it. Yeah, that's all it takes.
Yeah,
that's all it is. When you have uninformed people making decisions on these types of things, and you see it's prevalent throughout government. People who are uninformed regulating things that they have never never encountered in their entire lives. Then don't. I mean, if someone asked me to fucking build a car or make rules about how someone should build a car, I don't know the first thing about building a car. I'm not going to try to write that book,
Yeah, I agree.
It's mandatory that all hatchbacks have flames and spoilers. All trucks need a lift kit of at least 5 feet. And Dan is only allowed to drive around in a clown car.
My horn is just a slide whistle.
It's a slide whistle that goes on for a while depending on the speed that you're going. So like if you're speeding up, it's like you're slowing down and stops.
Screech to a halt. But yeah, just as ridiculous as making Dan have to drive a clown car for the rest of his life, making somebody have to go to jail potentially or even die in prison because they decided, I didn't want to have this baby. It's not my fault. A lot of things happened, or just, I wish to express my bodily autonomy. But some, crazy people that think that they know what's best for everyone is gonna, we don't want that to happen.
Like in the case of Alabama, despite it being rape or incest.
Yeah, which is insane. And I'm pretty sure Missouri's the same, has similar legislation, and Georgia, I think, as well. Not sure about Ohio, but they're kind of kooky. They call sprinkles on ice cream dope.
What?
Yeah, because Jimmy's the longer ice cream sprinkles. I learned this on Atlas Obscura, so this is not mine. But everywhere else it's sprinkles, except for some places they call them Jimmy's. But Ohio in the United States is the only place that calls that shit dope. Ohio,
get your shit together, Ohio.
Pro-choice for sprinkles.
Jesus Christ.
And for bodily autonomy, but the latter being more important, of course.
Wow. Yeah. So
learning and growing.
We live in increasingly disappointing times.
We live in a society.
Gamers rise up.
Oh my God.
But I'm sorry, the more serious point that you're making, though.
It's increasingly disappointing times. And but I do have to remind everyone that for every disappointment, there are encouraging things like Kansas ruling that it was against their constitution to restrict a woman's ability to get an abortion.
Hell yeah, Kansas.
It's
more than a feeling.
For every disappointing thing that happens in the multiverse, there is a Brooks out there trying to make it right.
Honk, honk.
Yeah. Yeah. Just fucking, just stop. Everyone just fucking knock it the fuck off. I don't know. I can't articulate well with this kind of stuff because...
I think you mean me no speak good.
Well, I mean, it's pretty frustrating. It's kind of depressing out there. You know, we have, at least in the United States, we have all this crazy legislation and the president, blah, 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 and all that stuff. But then on a grander scale, like, being bummed out about the environment and how the planet's on fire. And Bill Nye had to say swear words on TV to drive that point home. Saw that this week. That was great. And just, it makes you disappointed in the lame horse that we got handed as younger folks, but I guess it's up to us to make the most of it, by destroying the patriarchy.
Yeah.
And not letting assholes decide what's best for everyone when they couldn't even point on a chart women's anatomy of any kind.
Yep.
Well, hopefully before the world has a chance to burn, glorious North Korea takes over the United States and we all have to die in a gulag.
You know what? I heard the food's not bad.
But it's like that one senator who said, like, if what was it? If the uterus becomes, like, attaches to the... if the embryo becomes attached to the uterine lining or something like that, like for a miscarriage, they can just have it reinserted into the fallopian tubes, and it's like,
yes, unplug it and plug it back in. That's how babies work.
Like, basically, it's every single time a senator and someone who's involved in this lawmaking, decision-making process opens their mouth about it, they say things that literally don't happen, that are not possible to express. Like, they're not hiding their ignorance. They're completely open about their ignorance and still the ones behind this decision.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, the thing I'm absolutely going to go out on with talking about this is, I can't remember what state he was from, but he was speaking out against wind energy, stating that wind turbines would soak up all of the air and make the earth too hot.
It wasn't the president, was it?
No, it was a senator.
No, the president said that the sound from wind turbines causes cancer.
Oh, okay. All right. Very astute and erudite leaders we have.
It gives me eardrum cancer.
On that note, we're fucking done. Tune in next week when hopefully we're a little bit not as done. Bye.
I'm done.
Again.
Dad?